Welcome to part 10 of Let's Play Revenge of the Vampire by Keith Martin. At the end of the last part, I was about to read paragraph 152. Here we go. You open the door to the tomb chamber of Count Rainer Heydrich. The stone lid of the tomb itself opens with a grinding sound as you enter, and the Count clutches at the edge of the tomb with long-fingered nails, sitting upright even as you rush to attack. With one bound, the black-cloaked figure leaps out to face you. If you have a red crystal heart, you know how many facets it has. Double that number and add 20 to reach a final total. Turn to the paragraph with that total. Otherwise, roll 2 dice and add 2. If the total is higher than your faith score, turn to 209. If the total is lower than or equal to your faith score, turn to 258. Okay, do we have this crystal heart? Yes, we do. We have a crystal heart with 90 facets. So we're going to double 90, which is 180, and then add 20 to it, which is 200. So we're turning to paragraph 200. Okay, here we go. The Count stares at you in fear and rushes past you through the open door and away to the north. His passage is so swift that you can hardly keep up with him. He reaches the glowing archway and races straight into it. The surface of the blue magical barrier ripples as if someone had dropped a stone into a pond after he has passed through it. Sparks of magical fire roar round the edges of the barrier. You have a split second to decide. If you want to follow him, jump through now. Turn to 359. Otherwise, you back away. You can open the other door to the south. If you haven't done so already, turn to 97. Or you can leave the crypts and return to the entrance hall of Mortis Mansion to get your bearings and find somewhere else to search. Turn to 271. Okay, we are going to jump through and follow him. So, yeah, so we're going to jump through now and turn to 359. The Count has used a magical portal to transport himself far away, flying across the plains to his final hideaway. When you strike the barrier, fire flickers round your body as you suffer some of the ill effects it was designed to inflict on anyone who entered it other than the vampire. Lose 3 stamina points. If you are still alive, turn to 298. Okay, so I've lost 3 stamina points. That puts me down to 14. I will use some provisions and put myself up to 18. So that puts my provisions down to 14. There we go. Lovely. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Good. Okay. Turn to 298. Here we are. You feel bewildered and disorientated. You are standing on a hazy, insubstantial surface, surrounded by barren plains and mists. Before you stands a single glowing figure, tall, fair-haired, and grave in appearance. He has gone to the Ghoul Crypts, the spectre declares sadly. You will have to follow him there. You stand still, trying to get your breath back. You have no idea who this figure is until he introduces himself. I am Siegfried, Rainer's brother and his nemesis. When he was brought back into existence, the magic also called me back from my own resting place. We are inseparable. He is the darkness, I am the light. But I am still trapped here and can do nothing to stop him. I do know where he is, however, and I can help you. Pass beyond the northern Great Wall to the margins of the Shamutanti Hills and seek the village of Sharnek. Find the gatekeeper. He has stood guard for many long years over the secret places, and he will be glad that his long wait is over. When you find the Ghoul Crypts, you must seek the tomb of the 5th and last Knight of the Thorn there. Not only the vampire elders are buried in that place, the tombs of their 5 greatest enemies, those fabled knights, stand there also. In that 5th tomb you will find a great weapon to aid you against Rainer. This time you must destroy him utterly. If you have a red crystal heart, turn to 249. If you do not have this, turn to 34. Okay, there he is. There's his brother Siegfried. Very gallant. Okay. Yes, we have the Crystal Heart, and we're turning to 249. Oh, it's raining at last. Thank you. Blimey. Anyway, okay, here we go. You have no time to lose. With a wave of his hand, Siegfried gives you the blessings of God and returns you to your own world. You are standing outside Mortis Mansion, and your final goal lies to the northwest. Turn to 169. Okay, 169, here we go. You know where to go, to the Ghoul Crypts, but do you know where they are? If you do, then you also know how many Knights of the Thorn are buried there. Multiply that number by 4, then subtract 1 to get a final total. Turn to the paragraph with the same number. If you don't know where the Ghoul Crypts are, turn to 387. Okay, so we just found out about how many Knights of the Thorn there are. There are 5. Okay, so there are 5. No, yeah, there are 5 knights. I should have written that down actually. I think I'll write it down now. I should have written it down earlier. Okay, 5 Knights of the Thorn. New line. Okay, I'll just say there are 5 Knights of the Thorn. Okay, so we're multiplying 5 by 4, which is 20, then subtract 1 to get the final total. Okay, so that's 19. So turning to paragraph 19. If you don't know where the Ghoul Crypts are, turn to 387. Okay, I do, so we're turning to 19. Oops, wrong way. Oh yeah, sort of the pages aren't in order. Okay, you have more long days ahead of you. During your journey, you must eat 6 meals to supplement what you can beg. Okay, so that's 6 provisions gone. Puts me down to 8 provisions. However, you may buy food to replace used provisions. 1 gold piece buys enough for 2 meals. Okay. I'll put myself up to 12, I think, so I'll need 4, which means I need to spend 2 gold pieces. So 2 gold pieces for another 4 meals. That puts me up to 12. Good. Okay. If you have a longbow, you can take some pot shots at rabbits for your supper. Test your skill. If you are successful, you hunt well enough to add 3 to your provisions. If you fail, you may add only 1 to your provisions. If you have no gold and you need food badly, you can work at log chopping and similar demeaning tasks to earn money. 1 day's work earns 1 gold piece, but you must lose 1 blood point for each day you spend working. Okay, so we do have a longbow. Actually, no, do I have a longbow? I don't even know. I don't think I do have a longbow, do I? So, no, scrap that. I don't have a longbow. I keep thinking I have a longbow, but I don't. No, no longbow. Okay. Did I call it longbow with a space? No. Okay. Let's try that again. No. No longbow. Okay, I'll stop that now. Okay, so we can't do the longbow thing. Okay. Eventually, you round the western edge of the northern Great Wall, and as night falls, find yourself in the village of Sharnek. Behind you, excuse me. Behind you, a rider races up and read paragraph. The next page. Races up and rushes straight past you, screaming something about a scarred monster man following him. If you want to ignore this mayhem and find somewhere to stay, turn to 285. If you would rather find a place where you can crouch down, hide, and wait to see what happens, turn to 94. Okay, we're going to crouch down, hide, and wait to see what happens, and turn to 94. The Count has sent his hunter after you. The creature comes into view in the gloom. It is man-like and carries a huge wooden club studded with chunks of metal. It wears only black sacking and appears to have been cobbled together from bits of various bodies. The monster stands an arm's length taller than you and is immensely muscular and strong. It seems to be sniffing at the ground around as if trailing someone. But you have the advantage of surprise here. If you have a long bow, you can fire an arrow at the creature, so subtract 2 points from the monster's stamina total when you meet it. If you don't have a long bow, you still gain a slight advantage by leaping out of cover, so you can add 2 to your attack strength in the first attack round, 10 to 190. Okay, looks like we have a Frankenstein's monster. No, it's called a corpse golem. Okay, the corpse golem is a very dangerous opponent indeed. If it has an attack strength of 20 or more, it will strike you even if you have the higher attack strength. In such a case, you both strike each other. If it ever has an attack strength of 22, it hits you a massive blow and you must lose 4 points from your stamina. Corpse golem, skill 10, stamina 14. Okay, so we get an extra... so we get an extra 2 attack strength on the first round, plus of course the extra 2 from the magical gauntlets and the magic sword I have. So corpse golem, skill 10. What was his stamina again? Stamina 14. Okay, so we're rolling for him first. My skill is 11. Okay, so 10 plus 3 is 13. I get 6 plus 4, 10, so 21. So 13 to 21 because I get an extra 4 for mine. So 13 to 21, but only on the first attack round. Okay, puts him down to 12. Okay. So if it gets 20 or more, it will strike you even if you have the higher attack round. Okay. Okay, next. Oh, good, rain. Even more rain. I mean, it's gone a bit heavier. Lovely. Can't stand this dryness and this humidity. Can't bear it. Anyway, 10 plus 8 is 18. I get 19, 21. So 18 to 21. Looking at the weather yesterday, it was really interesting actually, because and of course useless, because I looked at the weather yesterday. It said no rain all this week, and here we are. So looking at the weather forecast is completely and utterly pointless. And it's not just, and I'm not just basing that off that one time. I look at the weather a lot, and it often says there's going to be rain, and then there isn't, and then now it says there isn't rain, and there is. So, and that's happened at least 30 times in the past year that I checked the weather. So completely useless. Don't even bother looking at the weather, and that's from the Met Office. Not even the like a news station or something, the actual Met Office. Anyway, he's down to 10. Anyway, 10 plus 6 is 16. I get 21. So 16 to 21. Puts them down to 8. Okay. 10 plus 6 is 16. I get 16. Yeah, because of an extra 2. So 16 each. That means we don't hurt each other, but he's not over 20, so it doesn't hurt me anyway. 10 plus 10 is 20. I get 21. So that's 20 to 21. Now, I am aware of the thing, so let me just look at the rules of that. So that puts them down to 6, first of all. Do I get hurt, or is it over 20? 20 or more, so he has hurt me regardless, because he's so strong. Okay, so that puts me down to 16. Because he has attack strength of 20 or more. Okay, back to Corpse Golem, which is a type of zombie, isn't he? So, type of zombie. Because as we know, Frankenstein is a type of zombie. I won't stop saying that. Sue me. Okay. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, 10 plus 8 is 18. And I get 17, 19. So 18 to 19. I really am very grateful for that extra Extra 2 attack strength on the magical gauntlets and the magical sword or whatever. Anyway, 10 plus 5 is 15. I get 21, so 15 to 21. That's 2. And then hopefully finally jinx myself. 10 plus, there we go, 10 plus 10 is 20, and I get 21. So 20 to 21. So I do kill him, but he takes another hit off me because he had 20 or more. So that's that. He's dead. Corpse Golem is dead. I won't scroll the wrong one this time. Nearly did. 14. Okay, that's the end of Mr. Corpse Golem. Okay. Rightio. Okay, 262. Okay, you stand over the remains of the gruesome monster in the middle of a growing throng of excited villagers. Pushing through them is a man with a hard-lined face, short black hair, steely grey eyes, and plain brown robes. He waves people out of his way with a hawthorn stick, and they part to let him through. He takes you by the arm and stares you in the eyes with an unflinching gaze. "Come and eat," he says simply. "You are fortunate to survive such a hunter. Fortunate and brave." You go with the long striding man to an austere house where a silent servant brings bowls of hot soup, cheese, fruit, and fresh baked bread. "You are pursuing the Count," the man says in a matter-of-fact way. "I have sensed his flight here. It will not be long before he brings his plans to fruition." Then he coughs horribly and covers his mouth with a handkerchief. Whatever. You realize that, despite initial appearances, he is very ill. When he has recovered, he stares at you again in his disturbing way. There is something very sinister about him, of that there can be no doubt. If you want to trust him and go on talking with him, turn to 357. If you don't care for his company, you can leave and begin your search for the Gaul crypts alone. Turn to 319. There he is. Okay. Okay, we are going to leave and begin our search for the Gaul crypts alone. And turn to 319. The man is clearly disappointed at your decision to depart. Now you will have to wander around alone, looking for any crypt entrances outside the village. First, you have to find somewhere to stay for the night. This will cost 1 gold piece. If you don't have this, or if you won't pay, then you must eat a meal and you sleep fitfully outdoors. Deduct 2 points from your stamina. Okay, I will pay that, so 1 gold piece is gone. Puts me down to 44. Okay. Okay, where are we turning? Oh, sorry, I haven't finished the paragraph yet. In the morning, I haven't finished the whole of the entry of 319. I have finished the paragraph. In the morning, you can buy some provisions if you wish to. 1 gold piece buys enough for 2 meals, and you can buy as much food as you can carry. Okay, let's get another. Let's put myself up to 16 again, so spend another 2 gold pieces. Let's be down to 42. After endless searching round the outskirts of the village, all you have turned up is the entrance to some long-abandoned mines. If there are any crypts below them, no one is saying so, but the villagers are a furtive lot and have little to say anyway. You must lose 2 blood points for this delay in searching. It's time to go down into the depths. Turn to 134. Okay, so we've lost 2 blood points. Puts me down to 15. And returning to 134. A long winding path leads down to the old lead mines. Stepping carefully over the debris of rock and leaves blown in from outside, you descend into the entrance cave. Rotted pit props and the drip of water from above warn you that the place is hardly safe to walk in, but you must press onwards. Ahead of you, to your left, is a domed chamber with many rocks on the floor and a chink of daylight beaming down. The glint of metal is visible in the middle of the rock clutter. If you want to explore the domed chamber, turn to 167. If you want to go straight on past it, turn to 275. Okay. We are going to go straight on past it, turn to 275. You hurry on downwards through a cavern with bright red-orange stripes in the grey limestone, somewhat resembling a side of bacon, if rather more colourful. Ahead of you is a yawning chasm, and 2 rock platforms cross it to more caverns beyond. Both of them look strong and safe to cross. If you want to take the right-hand platform, turn to 110. If you want to take the left-hand platform, turn to 307. Okay, we're going to take the left-hand platform and turn to 307. With a sigh of relief, you reach the far end of the rock bridge and see fluted pillars of sculpted stone ahead of you. You approach them carefully and discover that they are massive stalactites. There is plenty of room to pass between them, so you push on ahead and downwards, following the passage as it descends into a huge cave with many more, if less spectacular, stalactites growing down from the ceiling. These have bulbous globes on their tips, yellow-orange centres, and a milky surround. There is an unpleasant smell in this chamber, not unlike that of rotten eggs. Far to the north, in the darkness, you can hear rushing water. You can also see a small constellation of sparks gliding lazily towards you through the air. If you want to enter the cavern, turn to 14. If you want to back out, turn to 374. Okay, we're going to back out and turn to 374. Discretion was certainly the better part of valor this time. The cave is suddenly filled with sheets of flame as the sparks ignite the gas you could smell. Then all is quiet again, but the spark creature is still bobbing around in the cave. You decide to move forward and confront it. Turn to 204. The cave wisp is a very difficult opponent. It attacks you by firing sprays of sparks, and while you only need 2 strikes to destroy it, it is extremely hard to hit. Cave wisp, skill 11, stamina 4. If you win, you press ahead and come to the waterfall at the end of the cavern. Water tumbles down from a stream or lake far above and pours down. I'll just do the cave wisp now and read that later. Okay, cave wisp. Guess what? I need more encounter boxes. Blimey. I say that every time. Okay. So we're fighting a cave wisp. Skill 11. Stamina 4. Okay, so we still get our +2 attack strength because of the magical gauntlets and the magical sword or whatever it is. Okay. So 11 plus 6 is 17. I get 23. So 17 to 23. Puts them down to 2. Okay, 11 plus 3 is 14. I get 15. So 14 to 15. And that is the end of Mr. Cave Wisp. Goodbye. And good riddance. Okay. If you win, you press ahead and come to the waterfall at the end of the cavern. Water tumbles down from a stream or lake far above and pours down over rock ledges and down a jagged chasm which clearly descends some way. As far as you can see, this is the only route down to the realms below the mines, so you must descend here. The rocks are very slippery and ordinary climbing will be very difficult. If you have some climbing boots and rope, turn to 196. If you have a mystery potion, it may help you here. It might even make you fly and drift down safely. If you want to use it here, you know how many scratches there are on the glass file. Multiply that number by 7 and turn to the paragraph with the same number. If you decide just to dive in and hope for the best, turn to 263. Okay. Okay, so we have some rope, but do we have some climbing boots? That's the $64,000 question. So, climbing boots. I'll just put boots. Nope, I have no boots. Nope, definitely no boots, but I do have some rope. I know that for sure. There it is. 10 yards of rope. Okay, so we don't have any boots, so we are going to dive in and hope for the best and turn to 263. Test your skill. If you are successful, you touch a rock ledge on your way down and grab onto it. However, your arms are severely strained by the weight of foam-flecked water roaring down on top of your body. Deduct 2 points from your stamina and turn to 317. If you fail, your body is dashed to pieces on jagged rocks far, far below. Your adventure ends here. Okay, so we need to test our skill. Our skill is 11, so we need this dice roll to be 11 or less. And we get 11. That was close, wasn't it? So we were successful, so we lose 2 stamina points. I'll put it up to 16 and eat some provisions. Let's be down to 15. Yes, eat some provisions while dangling from a ledge with a waterfall over us. Always time for a sandwich, I always say. Always time. Anyway, so we are turning to 317. Okay. You edge forward along a winding passage with a low ceiling. Flickering blue light glimmers ahead, and the passage straightens. The walls grow smoother and the floor easier to walk along. On either side of you are 3 wall alcoves, and inside each is a skeletal figure. In the distance, you can see that the passage continues and there is a side turning to your left. You have a pretty good idea that the skeletal figures will come to life and attack you as you approach them. So what are you going to do? Will you throw black fire at the skeletons if you have some, turn to 303. Fire an arrow at the nearest one if you have a long bow, turn to 68. Throw some acid at the skeletons if you have any, turn to 178. Grip your sword tightly and attack the first skeleton, turn to 104, or just walk straight ahead, turn to 327. Okay, we are going to walk just straight ahead and turn to 327. Roll 2 dice. If the total is equal to or greater than your faith score, turn to 104. If it is less than your faith score, you escape and take the left-hand turning in the passage, turn to 164, or march straight ahead, turn to 202. Okay, so let's test our faith. So our faith is currently 13. So, yeah, roll 2 dice, off we go. Which is 4, that's less than 13, so we were successful. Less than your faith score, you escape and take the left hand turning in the passage or march straight ahead. Okay, so we're going to march straight ahead and turn to 202. A few paces in front of you is a plain wooden door, where the passage bends round to the right. You peer further along the passage and can see 2 more doors. One to your left, halfway down the passage, and one to your right at the very end. The first of these doors is also plain, while the third one at the end of the passage has a shield design on it showing a broken thorn dripping blood against a white background. Which door will you open? The door in front of you, turn to 28. The door halfway down the passage, turn to 393. Or the door with the shield design at the end of the passage, turn to 11. Okay, let me just read that one again. Okay, plain wooden door. You peel along, see two more doors. One to your left and one to your right. The first of these doors is also plain. Ah, I see. Right. I see. Right. Okay. We are going to open the door with the shield design at the end of the passage and turn to 11. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah. What do you think of that? Oh yeah, it's missing a page. Ugh. Okay, there it is. Right. Okay. A magical glow swirls round the door with the shield on it, but you are not apprehensive. The usual sense of evil filling the crypts is absent here. You push the door open and discover a long corridor and 5 doors, each bearing a shield design. Materializing before you is the ghost of a knightly figure, tall and stern, who looks you over appraisingly. No evil enters here, the ghost announces. Any undead creature would be destroyed instantly by the magic guarding the tombs of the Knights of the Thorn. He seems to peer right into you, even through you for a moment. You come to destroy the evil here, the Shade declares approvingly, and not before time. What looks almost like a smile flickers on his face. I will allow you to pass into one and only one of the tomb rooms here to take whatever may be of help to you. You must choose which tomb to enter. Whose tomb room will you enter? Blimey, it's like a tongue twister poem here. It's like a riddle. Whose tomb room will you enter? The first knight's turned to 113, the second knight's turned to 171, the third knight's turned to 224, the fourth knight's turned to 292, or the fifth knight's turned to 314. Okay, we are going to enter the second knight's tomb and turn to 171. You need a skeleton key to open the complex lock on this door. If you have one, you will know how many notches are marked on it. Multiply this number by 7, then turn to the paragraph with the same number. If you don't have this key, you can make another choice. Will you open the tomb room of the first knight, turn to 113, the third knight, turn to 224, the fourth knight, turn to 292, or the fifth knight, turn to 314? Okay, so let's see if we have the skeleton key. Skeleton key, yeah, here it is. Skeleton key with 13 notches. Okay, so multiply this number by 7. 7 13s is 91. So let's go to 91. Okay, you find a magnificent suit of chainmail armor in the tomb room. This adds 1 to your attack strength in all combats. Okay, chainmail armor. +1 attack strength. So that means you get a +3 now. Okay, so chainmail armor, which is a bit of a tautology because chainmail is armor. So calling it armor is redundant, so it's a tautology. But we get another +1 attack strength. Okay, so that's that. New line. And it has another magical quality. Once, and only once, you may drain the magic out of the armor and draw it into yourself. When you do this, you may add 10 to your current stamina score, but the armor loses its magic and you lose the bonus to your attack strength. Gain 1 luck point for this excellent find. Okay, so luck point. I'm already at maximum, so that's useless, but I will start a new line. Replace the full stop with a comma. Okay, so we need to write down that we have that other bonus. Actually, I'll put it here. The semicolon. Lose this if use it to get 10 stamina. There we go. Now new line. There we go. Oops. Okay, new line. Good. Okay, did I put another parenthesis? Yes, I did. Good. Delighted with your prize, you turn around to find to find the knight's ghost smiling in the doorway. A wise choice, he says approvingly. That was the armor I wore long ago. Wear it well. Because of your wisdom, I will allow you to make a second choice. You may now enter one more tomb. Will it be that of the first knight, 10 to 113, the third knight, 10 to 224, the fourth knight, 10 to 292, or the fifth knight, 10 to 314? Okay, we're now going to enter the fifth knight's tomb and turn to 314. Surprisingly, the room on the other side of this door has no tomb in it, just a stone statue of a huge knight, mightily muscled and strong-faced. You gaze at the beautifully sculpted figure for a moment before you realize that the sword in the man's right hand is not made of stone at all. It is of metal. I thought that picture might be that. Excitedly, you prise it away from the stone hand, which grips it only loosely. If you have latent vampirism, 10 to 36. If you have lycanthropy, 10 to 366. If you have neither affliction, 10 to 53. Okay, we have neither affliction because that's Dr. Farukta cured us of our latent vampirism before we slaughtered him mercilessly and his two imps. So we have neither affliction and we're turning to 53. So turn to 53. This is the magic sword Imperator, and it is a mighty weapon indeed. It adds one to your attack strength in all combats, but it adds 2 to your attack strength against all undead. Okay, so I can't have the other magic sword, so I'll just have to say discarded for that one. And okay, and then I have magic sword, inverted comma, Imperator. +1 attack strength. +2 attack strength. Against undead. Undead, that's it. There we go, and comma. New line. Okay. One. Right. It also has 3 special powers which you should use with great care. First, it can once and once only deliver an especially powerful strike against any vampire or vampire with a Y. You must decide when to use this power before you roll dice for attack strength. If you have the higher attack strength, Imperator will inflict 8 points of damage upon your enemy. If you have the lower attack strength, this special attack is dissipated and lost, and you cannot attempt it again. Secondly, Imperator will automatically dispel and negate any one and only one spell cast against you. You can choose which spell attack this will be, and you can then ignore instructions about lost stamina, skill, etc. Caused by the spell attack. Thirdly, the sword contains a reservoir of healing and restoring magic. If you have any afflictions, lung rot, say, the sword cures them all. If you have lost any skill points through attacks from the undead or the like, Imperator will restore your skill to its initial level. Gain 2 luck points for this wonderful find. Don't need the luck points. Then the knight's ghost ushers you out of the tomb, and you make for the door halfway along the passage beyond the tombs and open it. 10 to 393. Okay, so we have many. We have some. So it cures all afflictions and also puts our skill up to initial level and 2 luck points. But we also have to say that we have some more things that can do with this thing. Okay, so can be used once only to take 8 stamina off in an attack round. Just put it over there. Can be used once and once only to dispel any magic or attack. There we go. New line. Right, okay. Oh, sorry, it's only against a vampire, so I have to off against a vampire or vampire with a Y. Okay, brilliant. That's that sorted. Okay, now we are turning to 393. 393. Here we go. And I'll read this paragraph in the next video. So thanks for watching and goodbye.